I grew up in Southern California, in Santa Barbara, and grew up with a lot of kids from immigrant families in the schools, speaking Spanish. And so I learned how to speak Spanish in the schools and grew up with a deep appreciation for Mexican culture. I went to college at the University of California in San Diego, and I studied U.S.-Mexican studies at the university there. And I actually worked on a migration project, and this was back in 1984. So fast forward 10 years to 94 when I decided to go to law school. And my mom at that time was actually an immigration lawyer. So she and my brother and I started to work together in the immigration law, and I was her paralegal for 4 years. And then when I graduated from law school, I actually started working in immigration law. But I also started working doing construction law for a construction law firm because I felt like, man, someone in this family's got to learn how to sue somebody. So I started working in there, and you know, I didn't like it as much as I liked immigration law because we were always suing people, and you know, you were fighting with your clients, you were fighting with other attorneys, you're fighting with the judges, you know, you're fighting with your paralegals. There was just a lot of conflict in the office and a lot of conflict around that part of the law. And I remember I got a call one day from Sister Angela, who was a Catholic, working for Catholic Charities in Santa Barbara. And she told me about this family who had come over from Bosnia, and they'd actually been caught in a NATO bombing, and they were, one of the boys was disfigured, and the sister also, she had like her hip was blown out, and the Doctors Without Borders actually brought them into Santa Barbara to get massive reconstructions. Their other brother actually had a post-traumatic stress disorder because he witnessed the bombs falling on the house and killing the family. So Sister Angela called me and said, Mark, something really bad's happened on their case and we need you to take over. So I looked at the case and I realized that they hadn't responded in time to a request for more information, and the case had just been denied, and which meant that those kids were going to be deported back home to Serbia. And so I went to my managing attorney at that point in the construction law, and I said, you know, I'd really like to help these guys out. Can we do some pro bono work for this? It's just going to be refiling the case and doing a little bit. And what he said to me was, no, we're not going to do free work. If you want to do that work, you have to do it after 10 o'clock at night or before 6 o'clock in the morning. And that really pissed me off. I was so mad. I couldn't believe that he wasn't going to let us do this kind of heartfelt, important work for these immigrant kids. So I went ahead and did it anyway, and I used my own money to pay the filing fees, and we got the cases approved. And I realized right then where my heart was and what I needed to be doing in the law, which was to be doing immigration law. And I also knew that I had to set up my own company because I needed to have heartfelt and ethical practices around why we were doing the law. And I wanted to be able to be generous, and I wanted to be able to help people that really needed help. And so that's when I started working on my own, and that was in 2001. And since then, I've been doing immigration law on my own. And in 2004, I moved to Nashville and started Immigration and Naturalization Attorneys. And I just changed the name to CINA, Community of Immigration Naturalization Attorneys, as we've been growing. And that's my company's story, and really glad that you're here with us on Step-by-Step Immigration Forms.